Welcome to Brewers Daily. I'm your host, Dave Gasper. Lots to get to on the show today. I've got an idea for what the Brewers should do for their next free agent signing, as they made one official here, and also what the Brewers still have left to do this offseason, as we are just 2 weeks away now from pitchers and catchers reporting. Be sure to subscribe to Brewers Daily here on Twitter. Get notified every single time a new episode drops. And follow me on Twitter as well, at dgasper24. Okay, so the big news that came down here, I suppose big is a relative term. But the Brewers have signed catcher Reese McGuire to a minor league deal with an invite to spring training. So on yesterday's show, we talked about the non-roster invitees that the Brewers had coming in, and now there's another one added to the mix, and it's a MLB veteran in Reese McGuire. I mean, McGuire played last season with the Chicago Cubs, so, he's moving from division rivals here. But McGuire is essentially, he's been a career backup catcher. He was a first-round pick all the way back in 2013, 14th overall by the Pirates, ends up getting bounced around, makes his MLB debut with Toronto, plays there for a couple of years, then goes to the White Sox for a bit, then the Red Sox, spends a few years in Boston, and then spent last season with Chicago. And he's been primarily a backup catcher, kind of light hitting, below league average. Had a really good year last season with Chicago, career high 9 home runs for him in 44 games. But hit 226, 245 on base percentage, 94 OPS plus. So still, below league average. But he's someone who has MLB experience, and he could be a capable backup to William Contreras if the Brewers wanted to go that route. They still have Jefferson Caro, who seems to be in line to get his MLB debut this season and get a decent amount of playing time, as far as anyone can when you're playing behind William Contreras, because he just does not leave the field. So McGuire, he provides that veteran backstop that I thought that the Brewers were going to get at some point this offseason. I didn't know if it was going to be a major league deal, minor league deal. Ultimately, they end up landing Reese McGuire here on a minor league contract. So if they decide they want to go with Caro to be the major league guy, and be the backup to Contreras this season, they can stash Reese McGuire in AAA and keep him down there. He doesn't currently have a 40-man roster spot. Again, they have 2 spots open on the 40-man, but they did not want to give one here to McGuire right away. He has the possibility to earn that in camp, and he's going to provide some legit competition here for Jefferson Caro to be that guy, because the Brewers may still want to get Caro some more regular at-bats in AAA, just kind of, make sure that he gets going, because he is a big-time prospect for him. And when you're playing as the backup to William Contreras, you ain't going to be playing much. So there is a chance that they put him down there in AAA and go with McGuire for the time being, but that will all get fleshed out during camp and during spring training. So that is going to be a battle to watch for sure. But that is one of the big needs that I thought that the Brewers still had remaining on their offseason ledger that is now taken off the board. I don't foresee the Brewers adding any more catchers from the outside. McGuire should provide that capable veteran outside look. But Caro, I think, is certainly going to get a chance at some point this year. So that just kind of begs the question then, what is left for the Brewers to do this offseason? Because we do have spring training opening up soon. The Brewers haven't been super active this winter, but also you're returning the majority of your 97-win team from last season. So what do the Brewers still have left to do? I still think that they have a right-handed reliever that they need to get at some point, whether it's a minor league deal, major league deal, whatever it is. I think at this point in the offseason, you're looking more likely a minor league deal. But that doesn't mean this couldn't be a guy that can be a contributor at some point throughout the year. Again, looking at this bullpen, it's very left-handed heavy at the moment, especially if Aaron Ashby and DL Hall do not earn rotation spots. You got Zerpa in there, you've got Jared Koenig as well, Rob Zastryzny. You got a lot of lefties for that bullpen group, and you're going to have at least one of Ashby and Hall, in all likelihood, in that bullpen. Maybe both, but you're going to have at least one. from that group. So I think you're going to need another right-handed reliever. You got Yoho there. You got Easton McGee that they like. You got Sammy Peralta that they claimed off waivers. But I think they need to add some more depth to that group. So that is really kind of the lone remaining area that I see as kind of a need that the Brewers should still and are likely still to address before we get to Cactus League games starting up. So, I'm just kind of scouring through the free agent lists and seeing who is still out there. Because at this point, it's kind of the picked over group. It's none of the top names in the relief market. The relief market went hot and heavy early on in the offseason, November, December. That one was really moving. And now it's just kind of your leftover, your middle relief kind of guys, your minor league deal type of guys that are hoping to get in, pitch well, earn a bullpen spot somehow, get called up on the shuttle, and end up sticking. And a lot of these guys will do that. So the Brewers, they have their chance to kind of pick through, and they do really well at this in terms of picking through who is left among the free agent reliever market and who they can work with and somehow turning them into a star. I mean, Jared Koenig was an absolute afterthought on the free agent market. The Brewers signed him to a minor league deal with a non-roster invite, and next thing you know, they end up calling him up, and he's ended up pitching in the Brewers bullpen as a key piece for the last couple of seasons. So the Brewers do incredibly well with this. So who could be that next guy? Who is out there that I think that the Brewers could and perhaps should get? I think I'm looking at another former first-round pick here, and I'm targeting Carson Fulmer, formerly of the Los Angeles Angels, spent the last couple of years with them. He kind of went up and down with the minors last season, but he ended up pitching, a couple of games for the Los Angeles Angels, a team not really known for their pitching development. But yeah, had a 5.83 ERA last year in 13 games. 29 innings, and you might be looking at it being like, oh, yikes, I don't know if that's necessarily the guy that you want. But he has had, some success in the big leagues before, obviously playing, several years. He made his debut in 2016, came up with the White Sox, then he bounced around Detroit, Baltimore, Cincinnati, and then the Los Angeles Angels. But still, he's someone who... He certainly has talent, being a former first-round pick and all. He was selected 8th overall by the White Sox back in 2015 out of Vanderbilt, a university known for their pitching development. But, yeah, struggled at the big league level, has had some success, but definitely an up-and-down career for him. But Carson Fulmer, 32 years old, he's got 6 pitches that he works with. He's got a four-seamer, a sinker, changeup, slider, curve, sweeper. He's got a full arsenal there, and Chris Hook and Jim Henderson, the Brewers pitching coaches, they can certainly work with that. They can make whatever tweaks that they feel are necessary. They could maybe cut that arsenal down a little bit, eliminate a couple of pitches that maybe aren't working if they have to. Focus, heavier on the pitches that do well for him. Carson Fulmer, I think, would make a pretty good amount of sense for the Brewers on a minor league deal. Comes into spring training, and either he can earn a spot, in spring, or he pitches well enough, but still ends up getting sent down to AAA, but continues to pitch well there, and ends up earning a spot at some point throughout the season. I could very easily see that as a possibility, because the Brewers have had success with pitchers like this. So I'm looking to Carson Fulmer. None of the the baseball savants, none of the stats jump off the page for a guy like this, and he's kind of more of a reclamation project. But this would be a minor league deal, an invite to camp. He's a right-handed reliever. Obviously doesn't have any options remaining, and he's someone that if the Brewers can get their hands on him, I think they can find a way to make him successful. Because, again, you don't get drafted 8th overall without a whole ton of talent. And even though he hasn't had the major league success, that doesn't mean that talent isn't still in there. So, for me, if I'm Matt Arnold, if I'm looking at this landscape, I know I've named kind of some other relief pitchers out there as well. But Carson Fulmer is someone who sticks out to me right now. He's still a free agent. He's still out there. He's going to be wanting to get himself into a camp. He was on a minor league deal last year. I think he's absolutely someone who the Brewers can get on a minor league deal, get him into camp, get him into the pitching lab, work with him, make whatever tweaks that they want to, and they can find a way to turn this guy into a usable bullpen arm for them. I think it's very much possible. I would not put anything past the Brewers for that. He's still out there in the free agent market. Haven't really heard anything in terms of actual rumors, but just trying to look at the guys out there who might make some sense. I think Carson Fulmer, formerly of the Angels, I think he would make a boatload of sense for the Brewers to get as a right-handed reliever, add some depth to that group, either in AAA or in the big league clubhouse. He's been around the league. He's someone who certainly, I think, would make a bunch of sense for Milwaukee. Doesn't throw super hard, as four-seamer, 93 miles an hour, so it doesn't necessarily fit in with the whole rest of the Brewers bullpen, which is basically 98 and 99 miles an hour for a lot of these guys. But still, his ability to throw 6 pitches and keep hitters off base as a reliever, because there aren't too many relievers that throw 6 pitches. You just generally don't need that many to get through 1 inning or so. But having those 6 pitches available to him is going to make him very tough for some of these guys. Goes mostly fastball, 4-seam changeup against lefties. Goes sinker slider against righties, and still can mix in that curveball and sweeper at some point in there. But still, he's someone who has that arsenal, and he would certainly fit the price range and fit the target of a minor league deal, and fit into the bullpen. So that's my idea. That's it. Matt Arnold, if you're watching this, that's my idea. Go get Carson Fulmer, bring him in on a minor league deal, and see what he can do in spring training. Spring training coming up in 2 weeks is when pitchers and catchers report. It's almost here. It's almost here, and we're going to be here with you every single day leading up to it and then into it here on Brewers Daily. So again, be sure to subscribe to Brewers Daily, get notified every single time a new episode drops, and follow me on Twitter at dgasper24. Appreciate you enjoying, appreciate you watching, and we'll see you again next time for another episode of Brewers Daily.